Welcome back to another industry talk. I am your host, Keone Stevens, also known as Head Coach John. I'm here with the wonderful, multi-talented entrepreneur, Dakari Thurmon, the man of a thousand interests is what I call him. How you doing, Dakari?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I am doing excellent. It is great to see you again. I always love doing these with you. You have so much great information for the students. I'd like to, because we have a lot of people who've never met you before. So it's like, even though we've done several of these interviews, we got to start from scratch. And I want to
Right.
know first, what gave you the drive to want to get into entertainment and be on the business side?
Um, what made me want to get on the business side was um, not only me focusing on myself, but also focusing on my brothers. Um, and I started off with I started off taking my aunt, and she's mind you, she's younger than me, but it's my little aunt. She was a singer. She was a singer. She was signed to a label called Defiant Records, which is the label under Grand Hustle, under T.I.'s label. So she was signed to them. Kevin Gates was signed to them, so on and so forth. So the president, Greg Calloway, the president of Defiant, he had came to me. He was like, "Hey, you should get into management because music is all around you."
Mhm.
And I was like, interesting. So he was like, "You know what I'm gonna do? I want you to come to these meetings, and our first meeting is gonna be with Kevin Gates, and the next one is gonna be with Young Dro." And so he just started showing me like the creative side of things, and eventually, like a few months later, we ended up, building, like really, really building, and he was educating me on a lot of things. And so from there, my aunt, she ended up leaving the label and getting other offers from different labels. And Drummer Boy was one of those people as well. So I sat in a meeting with Drum and the super producer, and he offered, my aunt a deal as well. And so from there, I got a chance. Like Drummer Boy taught me the industry indirectly direct because he wasn't talking to me; he was talking to somebody else. But within a matter of a 2 to 3 hour conversation, I learned everything I needed to know just by listening.
So you were a sponge. You weren't just sitting
Yeah,
there kind of sitting around. You soaked up.
yeah, very much so. So from there, man, like I just, I started consulting, getting artists up and running, and then I started breaking different artists and linking with different DJs and all that good stuff. So from there, I went into the film side of things. Oh, my brother being Teen Groot in Avengers. My youngest brother was his stunt double, was Olaniyan stunt double in the show Happen Leonard with Michael K. Williams, season 2 that's on Netflix. Um, and I can't think of, off the name of off the top of my head. My youngest brother, he was in a DC film. So from there, like I said, man, we just hit the ground running. And as of recently, I got my brothers. I got both of them signed to an independent label, so they just signed their record deal about 3 days ago.
All right, so you didn't shift because I remember at one point you were kind of shifting away from the music, but you kind of have your foot in all the doors right now.
Yes, very much so. And like I just switched the M's up. Like I went from the managing side to more of the marketing. But as far as my brothers, I still manage them, and I have a couple other artists that I still work with as far as like the marketing side of it. But other than that, like I don't spread myself thin anymore. You know what I mean? Like I was spreading myself so thin because I had so many artists that needed my attention and calling it, making this call, making that call. So I was just like, oh my God, man, this is too much. So I had to switch the M's up because most artists want management, but they don't have the money for their marketing.
Hmm.
So I'm like, if you don't have the budget for your marketing, then that makes this list slim to none. I went from having 15 to 20 artists to two or three
Hmm.
because out of these 15 to 20, everybody needed management but didn't have the correct budget to actually push their music forward. So now
Is
we're here.
but then you transition into getting your own radio station. Was that kind of
Yeah.
one of the reasons?
Yeah, man, because from radio, I've been a radio program director for 10 years now. I started when I was 20 and now I just turned 30. So I was a radio program director, and I recognized that. And then I had my magazine company, Secret Society magazine. I had the magazine company, and I had noticed that everybody needs marketing.
Hmm.
Every business needs marketing. So from there, I just started partnering with different blog companies, other magazine companies, out because I wanted to learn the ins and outs first before I went and got my own. So as far as radio goes, man, that was just the icing on the cake because I had already made the partnerships with the blogs and the magazines. But with radio, I was like, okay, now I get a chance to have a bigger reach on a global scale. As far as like internet radio, because mainstream radio is still it's local. So with internet radio, you can hit a mass amount of people at one time. So yeah, man, that was one of the biggest ones, that I really really enjoyed.
If anyone out there has questions, make sure you're signed in to YouTube and go ahead and put in the live chat your comments, and I will ask Dakari those comments. You're talking about marketing, and that's something that we talk to talent about, actors and models, not necessarily about marketing, but branding. A lot of people don't understand when they're pursuing the entertainment business that their name matters. Your name is your
Yeah.
brand. Can you kind of talk
Yes.
about that? What because we had a big conversation earlier today in one of the classes where a lot of people said that they wanted to be a brand ambassador for these certain products. All these products will come to you, and so I always pose the question.
Uh-huh.
So if I offer you $2,000 uh, to post this shampoo on your Instagram, and you get to do it 5 times a week, will you take that job? And what questions would you ask? And I always get, yes, I'll take that job. I'm like, well, what are you going to ask me? When can I do it? How many times can I post it? I said, you're missing all the important questions. What is this product? Because now you've endorsed this product and now people's
Right.
hair are falling out. So now you're going to be
Mm.
associated with a product that's making people's hair fall out. So you can't always just, hey, here's some money and chase it, right? So talk to us about the
Right.
importance of understanding the branding of your name.
First off, if you do get something like that, try the product first and see if you actually like it or have someone else, a friend or whatever. If you don't want to try it and you have a friend that's willing to try it, see what their results are. Even like with myself, I'm partnered with a number of different brands as far as branding wise, due to the people that I work with. So whether it's tequila companies, Real Azul Tequila is a tequila company that I work with. Disbelief Tequila based out of Memphis is who I work with. Revanche Cognac is another brand that I work with, but I've tried all three. I've had everything that they've ever put out because they trust me within the branding side of what's going on to be like, okay, we're going to give you 2 to 3 bottles of this. We're going to give you 2 to 3 bottles of this flavor, that flavor, whatever. And I'm able to try them out and, get feedback for myself. That way I can get behind the product and push it. The same with Frank's International Footwear, which is a shoe company based out of Atlanta. Connoisseur Paris is a suit company here. Tally and Twine is another one of my partners. It's a watch company, one of the biggest watch companies in the country. So everybody that I do business with, they all send me, products as far as, what they're putting out for my clients, for the clients that I have. And, I just added on recently, a jeweler. I have two jewelers now that I'm able to promote on another level. You know what I mean? Uh, Man, so to piggyback, off what you were saying and to answer your question, man, it's just mainly knowing what you're getting yourself attached to, because there have been people out here that attach themselves to the wrong thing, and it's backfired on them because they don't know necessarily what they're getting themselves into.
Gotta do that research or pay someone to do it. Somebody's got to do it, right?
Right.
Somebody's got to do that research. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is someone's social media?
Ooh, social media. Social media is important. It's really important nowadays. But I also tell people to never forget, because I'll take us back when the pandemic hit. We didn't get a chance to really be face to face with people. Everything was virtual, and so the world, that was something that we missed. We yearned for that because we wanted to be with our friends, we wanted to be with our family, you know, everything that we wanted to do. We wanted to go to concerts, whatever, festivals. We wanted to do all of that. But now that we're here, we have to cherish the fact that we still have grassroots marketing. And what I mean by grassroots marketing is something that people need to really look into because, like I said, social media is important, but still have your grassroots because anything can happen where, you know what I mean, we can't be quote unquote face to face or whatever. You gotta have your grassroots so your brand can still be visible as people are driving. So you got your billboards, you got trash can advertisement, you got bus advertisement, you got bus stop advertisement. You got the signs that go in your yard, whatever. You got billboards. You got billboard companies out here. You can get a billboard for $10 a day. I'm not gonna put the brand out there because that's not what they pay me to do. But if you do your research, yeah, man, it's companies out there where you can get billboards for little to nothing, and there's different ways to do it as well. So yeah, man, that's super duper big. And really knowing how to advertise on social media is major. Also knowing how to advertise on YouTube. A lot of people don't know how to advertise on YouTube and using what we call true view ads. So that's something else that you all should look into as well. It's major. Mobile billboards, as far as the billboard trucks that ride around. That's major as well. So don't just solely rely on social media, but also have the other options. But social media is definitely important in knowing how to advertise on there as well.
And having a clear cut strategy, right?
Yeah,
Having a
definitely.
strategy, you can have a list of things to do, but if you
Right,
don't have them in a strategy, a
right,
realistic strategy with realistic expectations and goals, you're
right.
kind of you're hurting yourself. You're doing
Definitely.
all good. How excited were you when your brother got the role of Team Groot? How excited and proud of you were him from family side and also as the manager? Because that's two different feelings.
Um, I was very very excited. It was one of them things where he jumped up really quick. Getting to Marvel, that's something that people spend 20, 30 years trying to get to Marvel, and he got it on his second role without having to audition for nothing. So for him to do that within a matter of 2 years is mind blowing. Yeah, man, like it was really really exciting, but at the same time, it's something that that we cherish, man, because like I said, everybody doesn't get that opportunity to be with Marvel. And he had done, so he did Avengers Infinity War and Avengers End Game, and then he ended up doing another Marvel film, but he didn't have like a speaking role. So we've been to Marvel 3 different times. So in the last what, 4 5 years,
4 or 5 years, yeah,
we've been in Marvel 3 different times.
nice. Oh, that is great. So, you got them signed to another label. What genre of music?
They rap.
Okay, awesome. Are they good? No, I'm just kidding. That's not. Are they good? You're gonna say they're terrible.
No, no. The first video that we put out, we got like one. We're at 1.4 million views in less than a year.
What's the name of that video?
It's called Pop It. It's Lil Lonnie Pop It. LUHLANI Pop It
All right, so
on
everybody go
YouTube.
check out Pop It on YouTube. All right, check it out. Let us know. Come back in the comments and tell us if you liked it or not. All right, about it. Awesome. I like because I've been doing interviews with you for about 2.5 years now, so I've kind of seen
Yeah.
the growth of those two, and I can imagine where they're going from here. And you do a great job, of course, as managing. Talk about roadblocks. This is a part of the segment where we're always going to talk to anyone about because roadblocks are a part of life. Um,
Mhm.
what's a major hurdle or roadblock that almost stopped you from getting to where you are now? What was it, if you don't mind sharing it? And how did you get through it?
When I started my clothing line, I had a clothing line some years ago. The clothing line was the first thing that I had before I had any business. Um, I had a guy that I met. He ended up, becoming really cool with me. Um, he worked for FedEx, and he stole all my clothes, all the merch that I was supposed to send out. He told me he would ship it out for me, and he stole it. It was about 300 items that he stole. So luckily, the guy that was making shirts, I went to him and I told him, I was like, hey, this is my situation and what I went through. And he was like, you know what?
Mm.
We can't spend any time pondering on what happened. Take the lesson from what you learned and let's move forward. So from there, he was like, hey, I have the inventory on the shirts and everything that you need. Give me the orders again, and I got you. Just give me my cut on the back end of it and get me some more vinyl, and I got you. So whenever you re up on everything, just make sure that you give me some more vinyl, and I'll get you taken care of. So we did that, and I had the opportunity to move forward. But in that instance, that person had to see me again. And when they saw me again, they saw me. It took maybe I would say like a month and a half,
Mhm.
and I seen them at this lounge,
A month and a half
and it's
after they had taken everything from you?
yes,
Mm.
they seen me, and as soon as they seen me, they ran out of here. They ran. So from there, I was like, I have this analogy, man. Like I tell people, when people do wrong things to you, they always have to see you again. Whenever somebody does you wrong, they always have to see you. So always keep that in the back of your mind because you have to remain strong in those moments. And you'll always, as long as your intentions are good, you're always going to have somebody next to you that's willing to help you get back on your feet.
You know what?
So never, no, go ahead, go. I'm listening.
I was gonna say that's such a good thing because when you are honest and have good intent with people, like the person that came through and helped you, they didn't have to do that. But from associating with you, they understood who you were. If what if you
Right.
every time you talked to that person that helped you, you were always short, straight to the point, and kind of rude or arrogant? They would have never put out that hand to help you. So how you present
Exactly.
yourself, that it can always come back to help or harm you. How you present yourself at any chance. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I always use that analogy because I had a situation with someone, and they tried to divide and conquer. right? If anybody knows what that is,
Yes.
they tried to. It was me and someone else. They tried to come in the middle, divide us up so they can get the whole pie instead of everybody getting a piece of the pie.
They're out there.
So what happened was that when the person did that, I fell back, and I was like, you know what, you can have it.
Mm.
So the person on the other side that I was with, they were like, hey, I got to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck in this position, but I got to do what I got to do. So a week later, the person that divided and conquered, they had to sit next to me on a panel to speak. And during that panel, they had nothing but good things to say about me because I had never wronged that person. So every time they talked, it was about me in the best way possible. And mind you, this person is 30 years older than me.
Jeez. Someone
But within
mentoring
a
and helping.
time, right, within a week's time, this person had to sit directly next to me and talk to a crowd of people about me the whole time for a whole hour.
Oh, the bittersweet victories. The small victories.
Yeah, and then as of recently, the person that he divided and conquered, he ended up coming back to me, and he
Mhm.
ended up firing the guy that had to sit next to me
Ah,
because he stole money from him.
of course.
So that's what happens in these situations. As long as you put out good, everything will always work out in your favor. Never take anything as a loss. Take it as a lesson. Learn from it. Keep your heart pure. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't know. Like situations like that will make people turn cold.
Yes.
Like no, if people have to harm you or do anything or take from you, that should let you know that you're doing something right because you're never taking away from somebody else.
It's one of the hardest things ever. I call them emotional terrorists. People, whether it's friends, family members, business partners, when someone does something to you, don't let them create how you treat the next people. Okay.
Exactly.
You can learn from that lesson, be a little more on your guard. But what happens with people who are positive and successful, if they feel like the wall is too hard for them to get through, they
Right.
just turn around and go the other way. So you can miss a lot of good people in your life, business wise or other, because that wall is up and it's too hard to get through that wall.
Exactly.
So don't let people claim victory over you by putting you through turmoil or something bad because you're going to recover. It's never the end, right?
Very much so.
It's never the end. So you can recover. I love that for that. So you own your own radio show,
Hmm.
your own radio station. You're doing great in management. You also
Hmm.
own a cigar company, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about this before on another webinar, whether
Hmm.
you're okay. Hold on a second. We have a question from the audience. Tasmay says, when you decided to become an entrepreneur, how long did it take you to see success to motivate you to continue?
Hmm.
Because I remember you talked about sitting around and soaking up that sponge and having that high of being so motivated by everyone around you, but then now you had to go out and do it. How long did it take you to
So,
feel that success, and how did that? Uh,
the very next day,
oh, nice. Okay.
because it was something that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So a lot of people wait. They sit back and wait on what they want. As an entrepreneur, it's either you're going to do it or you're not. If you're not going to do it, you're not an entrepreneur.
Mm.
So as an entrepreneur, we don't sit back and wait for things to come to us. We have to go. You have to keep going, keep going, keep going. And so what I tell a lot of people too is that it's easy to turn nothing into something. A lot of people think that, oh man, I don't have the money, I don't have this, I don't have that. When I started my magazine company, for the cover of my magazine, I charged $800 for the cover out the gate. This is me just starting out. $800 for the cover. It was like maybe I'm trying to think. It was maybe like $200 to $300. It was like $200 for 2 pages, $300 for 3 pages. It might have been like $400 for 4 pages max. But from there, whoever bought the cover, the magazine paid for itself, and it also paid for my next magazine as well. And
Hmm.
we're not even talking about including the pages that people buy within the magazine. So that was turning nothing into something. With my cigars, I started off with pre-orders. I didn't have any cigars on hand. These were all pre-orders. So the pre-orders jump started me getting my first batch. And then from there, I didn't mess up my re-up on my cigars. That's how that works. If you mess up your re-up because you want to go buy shoes, you got bad habits, you want to go buy clothes, you want to take your girlfriend on a date or your boyfriend or whatever, we have to establish great habits as far as where we want to be in life. One of my good friends, Marcus Stroud, he just hit Forbes 30 under 30 from having great habits. Marcus, I haven't talked to him in a couple years now because he's been so focused. Every time I call him, I could call Marcus for a whole year and he won't even pick up the phone because he's invested over $20 million into 10 different tech companies across the country with his venture capitalist company with his partner. So with that, you should sit back and be like, damn, okay, well, if somebody can do that and they have a strong regiment and have a strong vision of where they want to be in life, that comes from discipline and not messing up what you have. You have to get incognito and inconvenience yourself, not just inconveniencing other people, but learn how to inconvenience yourself. Learn how to tell your friends, yeah, I'm gonna go to this party, and you don't go to the party. You stay at home and work on your business. That's called inconveniencing yourself. You know what I mean? Nobody's losing any money. No friend is losing money. None of that. Inconvenience yourself.
Mm.
We have to start with that.
Well,
You
I think
inconvenience
that goes
yourself.
to one of the things that me and you have talked about before, separating what you want versus what you need, right?
That's
That can
it.
be very hard. Look, hey, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not the one preaching about it because if you look behind me, I got a lot of stuff that I didn't need, but I wanted. So and I'm saying that because I'm laughing at myself, but I'm self aware. I'm self aware that I've put money into a bunch of stuff that really has no value to me unless except for the emotional connection and all of that. Uh, so I totally get it. But separating what you want and what you need is very hard for a lot of people.
Yes.
That line gets very blurry for a lot of people.
Hmm.
But I don't want anybody to feel ashamed if you do spend money on something. Hey, my grandfather says you worked hard for it. Don't wait. He used to tell me this all the time. Don't wait till you're 65 to enjoy yourself,
For sure. For
but
sure.
learn how to do it responsibly
Right.
when you're 20, 30. Because when you get 65, you don't know how you're going to be if you're 20 right now. You might not want to talk to anybody when you're 65.
And you know what, John? I'm gonna piggyback on that. I'm gonna say something real quick before the next question. Um, let your money make money before you spend it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Whatever you get from that,
Yeah.
let your money make money before you spend it.
Right. Awesome. We have a lot of protections that we have to give because we talked about social media earlier.
Mhm.
There's these things that's going around, but to people like us, it's obvious that it's a scam, right? When you get the Instagram message, hey, I want you to do this photo shoot or brand ambassador, and I'm going to pay you $2,500 a day for 5 days. And when we send you the money, you'll pay the designer. Like to me and you, that screams out fake, right?
Right, right, right.
Because I go and I look and I'm like, you have 50 Instagram followers. Why would they pay you $2,500 a day? But for people who are hungry and wanting to get out there, they see that carrot and they jump into it. Is there any time that you've almost been persuaded to do something that wasn't what it is with either a business partner or investing into something, and you got a red flag that just went off and said, "No, this isn't right."
Yep, I always go with my gut. If
Mhm.
my gut tell me don't do it, I'm not gonna do it. If it look crazy, then it is crazy.
Always trust your first judgment a lot, because there's so many times where you have a thought and then you think about it too much and you're like, and you're like, I should have stayed with my original thought, right?
Right, for sure.
Awesome. So, what's the name of the video game? Because there's some people that popped in new. I want to make sure, tell them about the video that I'm talking about and where they can go find it.
You said the video,
Yes, for your brother.
Luhlani Lil Lonnie Pop It.
And where can they check out your radio station on the internet?
Nuroc Radio. I'm actually in the process of revamping it right now. So I'll let you know when it's back up and you can send it out or whatever. But I'm revamping that right now.
Awesome.
Because I just signed a new deal. So I'm revamping that right now.
Signing new deals are always great. His social
Yep.
media is also in the description, and the website is also in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, that is down there. Jesse, this is a part where I always like to turn it over to my guests to spotlight you, and you kind of give um, your thoughts and advice on staying motivated, having desire, and achieving the goals that you have set for yourselves. All right, you
For
ready?
sure. Yep.
All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. Rookie mistake. Put the wrong screen up. Here we go.
What am I looking at?
No, you're not looking at anything. You're just single cropped. You can go ahead and start talking. All right.
Okay. Am I answering questions right here or what am I doing? Hey guys, yeah, definitely. I want you all to stay as positive as possible when it comes down to business wise, and also you making your decisions when it comes down to what you want to do in life because you know being an entrepreneur, being a model, being an actress, being an artist. None of it is easy, but also don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself, and also invest into the things that you want to see happen. Or you can always turn nothing into something, like we talked about. But the main thing is just moving with grace, moving with the right people. Never move with yes men. Um, Always trust your first instinct, and quality over quantity. Always, always, always. So I salute to you all, and I appreciate you all tuning in.
All right, Dakari. Awesome advice. Those of you who just joined in, go ahead and rewind it back and watch it from the beginning. You'll get a lot of fruitful information out of this. It's always a great interview to talk to you. You always have great words of encouragement. The stories are always great. We look to get more stories out of you in the future. And everyone who was watching, don't be afraid to post comments or ask questions. We'll go ahead on there for any guests and put on the question. In a couple of weeks, we'll have Paula Potsdam from Project Runway on here. You all will get to enjoy her on Industry Talk. Thank you, Dakari. Thank you, everyone that's watching, and everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you.